Welcome back, everybody, to Facetious. This is episode 86, brought to you on Monday, August 20th, 2017, approximately 6:11 p.m. Central Standard Time. Look, I am one of your hosts. I'm Larry, a.k.a. Bluemanrule, and I'm happy to be back in front of your eyeballs again this evening. I am joined, unusually, not by Mike, a.k.a. Scarfinger right now. I'm pretty sure he will be on his way. However, I am joined by the host with the most, the man who's been voted to have one of the best voices in the business for a couple of times. You know him. He is our own Houston affiliate. He is OFR's main host, none other than Terry, a.k.a. Timo, HOU87. What's going on, brother?
Happy to be here, everybody. Thanks for having me, man.
For sure, man. Look, it's been I've been trying to get some people on every now and then, but I know we record so early, like right after people get home and stuff. So, but you've been off work today, and you've been off work for a really good reason, and we're gonna get into that.
Oh yeah,
but
I'm off tomorrow too. Officially, I'm off tomorrow too. So,
hey, man, dang. So. As I mentioned, Timo is our Houston affiliate, right? So he is down there. And if you guys have not heard, I think now the count is up to 8 at last count that I know of. 8 people that have lost their lives due to Hurricane Harvey. Currently, there are more than 30,000 people expected to be in shelters as like their homes have been destroyed or like just not accessible right now. And man, it's crazy. Already parts of Harris County has gotten 30 inches of rain, received 30 inches of rain. So look, man, it's crazy. So Timo, man, how has life been down there for you, man? What do you see when you look out your window?
Well, I live in apartments on the second floor, and everything on the west side of town where I stay it's been okay. I mean, we got high water in some spots, but me and my family kind of know what to avoid. Like my mama went to the grocery store. She tried to anyway, but she went down her street. And pretty much every intersection is flooded. So, you know, I kind of told her, I looked at my Google Maps, and there's red on every intersection. So I told her, hey, be careful. Let me know if you can't get there. And she called me back and when she went back home. So
right, man, yeah. See, my mom is just the opposite.
Kids stand there. Go ahead.
My mom is just the opposite, man. I guess when she was younger, she got into a bad accident in bad weather, and so she never ever drives in bad weather anymore, ever. Like, she hardly ever uses her time as a state employee, but when she uses her time, it's because of bad weather. She ain't driving on it, bruh. She ain't doing it.
Well, she's smart. I mean, hey, because you're watching all the reports, and it's endless coverage everywhere, of course, 24/7. You know, I gotta thank these local stations, especially KHOU, because their studios got flooded, and they were actually offline for about 3 hours.
Really?
Yeah, and they came back on. I mean, so they actually had some people that came from Tyler, which is far north, bring down their TV equipment to come down and help them out.
Wow, man.
Yeah, so everybody's helping out. That's been the most blessed thing that I've been seeing on the news and everything, that people are using their own boats, their own vehicles to help people out.
Man, that's what's up.
Rescue people and all that stuff. Yeah, so that's been a blessing for a lot of people, because a lot of areas that weren't flooded in Rita and the Tax Day flood last year are flooding.
Okay.
Like, I mean,
hey, man, that's crazy. I heard the guy in Texas. I can't remember who it was, but he said this is like an 800-year event, and he said that their levees, Houston's levees, were not engineered for this type of event, which is completely understandable.
Yeah, and that's the problem too. They're releasing water, so they got to make a choice to either flood this neighborhood or not control it and let it spill over.
Yeah. So man, yeah, that's.
But they've done an excellent.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Excellent job of kind of telling everybody where not to go, where the water is, where the high water is, and all this stuff and everything. So that's been a good thing too. The only bad thing is, like, people that got to evacuate these neighborhoods, they have a hard time getting around because of all the water. That's the only bad thing.
My question is, what up, Slasher and Andrew Alliance? We got some cats up in here already. What's going on, y'all? I just got a question back from Mike. Mike just said he's restarting his PC, so he'll be along shortly. He said the app wasn't connecting, so but we'll give him another shot here, and then we'll jump right in. But yeah, man. So So being here in Oklahoma, man, like when they say tornadoes coming and stuff, you know, sometimes there's a tornado difference between a tornado watch and a tornado warning, right? The watch means it's just, hey, you know, try to be on the lookout for it. Warning means there's one on the ground in your area. You probably want to take cover, right? And so I've seen it many times where people just haven't gotten out in time. People have just stayed and just you know threatened to just like ride it out, and you know to their, I guess, to their misfortune, that doesn't always seem to work out for them. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
So is that remnant of a lot? Like, does that tell the story of a lot of victims down there of the floods, or has it just been like people tried to get out and then they got caught up because of all the traffic, and then, well, hey, now they can't go anywhere, and now people stuck?
Well, I remember when Rita happened. I think that was like 10 years ago, something like that. The mayor. Everybody kind of mistook what the mayor said. The mayor was like, leave if you feel comfortable. So everybody kind of said, okay, let's go. So everybody at the same time, like my cousin, it usually takes 3 hours to get to San Antonio. It took her 20.
Goodness.
Yeah, and so what happened also was the people ran out of gas because of all the traffic and all that different kind of stuff and everything. So I stayed because my mom was working at the time. She wasn't going. So if my mom wasn't going, I wasn't going. That's just how I felt, you know.
Right.
But luckily, at the last minute, Rita kind of hooked and avoided Houston.
Yeah,
you know, right at the last minute.
Yeah, well,
I mean, so this time, but this time, people were like, well, it didn't flood on the Texas flood last year. It didn't flood during Rita. It didn't flood in Allison. It didn't flood in Ike. So we're thinking we'll be okay. But the problem is this totally different, where the rain has just been nonstop across the entire city everywhere. So so that's the thing, like everybody's gotten hit, like everybody is getting hit at the same time, and the water can't go anywhere.
Right.
I mean, so
man, that's not interesting.
So like they said, it is like people are saying like they've never seen this bad, like ever. And people have living like all their lives, like 50 years, been living here. Instead, they've never seen it like this, ever seen it like this. I mean,
that's tough.
So the only thing that we can pray for is that we get a break in the rain, so we can drain a little bit. But that's the thing, it's in the forecast, but it's not going to be raining as hard as it has been. You know, like Saturday, we got like 10 to 12 inches Saturday, but they expect maybe inches. I mean, like you said, it's been 30, but they're predicting maybe 40 to 50 in the end. So.
Wow, like that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
dog.
it is, man. It's crazy, man. It's like it's almost like historic kind of stuff, like what's going on down here. So.
Yeah, that is very, very strange.
But I gotta thank everybody in our community, man, that's been checking up on me and everything. Like, you know, wishing me, you know, good thoughts and being safe and all that stuff, man. I appreciate it. I want to tell everybody that before we get to the next subject and all that, because everybody's like, hey, man, be careful. Like, I talked to Rogue for someone, he's like, you okay? I said, I got supplies. I got the right supplies, too. And I sent them, like, a meme of the most interesting man in the world pointing at him. I got the important supplies. I got water. I got food. I got beer. I'm all right. So.
Right. Nah, that's what's up, man. You got the essentials, brother. You got the essentials. I ain't mad at you. But no, man. Man, but seriously, man, you know, prayers go out to you and everybody down there, man. And you know, I've been getting calls like crazy because I donate blood all the time. And since this event, you know, it's like, hey, we need people to donate blood. Like, even though I donate blood with OBI, we share our blood supply with Texas Blood Institute. And so,
I mean, the governor has deployed pretty much all the, Navy Reserve, pretty much all 12,000 personnel down here. I mean, so.
Wow, yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, so they got the big, tall trucks getting people and all that stuff and everything. And like I said, man, the community health has just been crazy, man. It's been blessed for more than anything, man. Like I saw, like, there was a news anchor on these two boats that are getting pulled by jet ski. And they're just getting people out of their neighborhoods.
Dang, on jet ski, that's what's up.
Yeah, man. I mean, on jet ski, pulling.
We got you, Mike.
People and all that stuff,
So, Mike, you here, man? I think I heard you talking. Everybody, it's Mike, a.k.a. Scarfinger, a.k.a. Real Talk. What's up, man? What's
up, nigga? What's up, niggas?
Not much, dog. You got it. You up in here now. Good. I'm gonna get this volume turned up, man. You all right? You good? You good?
Man, I'm good, man. Actually, I was late. I was late in the first place. I mean, I ain't even gonna try to pretend.
I mean, okay, you're gonna try and act.
I was already late. I was already late. But then when I got here, the PC was just like, nah. So man. That's what's happening right now. I'm good. I'm good though. I'm here.
That's right.
Well, you know,
as long as you're here, that's all that matters, man. As long as you.
Yeah, man. I'm glad you're safe. I was like, man, Mike normally hit me back. Something must have been wrong. Like something must have been up.
No, but I was driving trying to get here.
Yeah, that's why I was telling him you worked across town, even though you live on the facility.
No, I wasn't even at work today. Here's what happened.
Okay.
Let me tell you what happened.
Okay, we're getting into it already.
What all right, Bill? So I went to Newport News today, right?
Okay.
I went to see my therapist for the first time in quite some time, and I had some other business to handle down there.
Okay.
So I went to see my therapist, and that was good. It was really awesome. She cleared her schedule for me. I thought it was cool because she called me and said, you know, we had, I ain't talked to you in a little bit. I was calling to see how you was doing. I already wanted to go, but trying to get there and having Pooh Bear and stuff like that was a little bit hard. Right. So I was like, yeah, I was gonna come see you after Pooh Bear went home, and she was just like, you know, I just wanted to see how you was doing, you know, all this other stuff. And I was like, what you doing Monday? Because I got some stuff to tell you. And she was like, well, I don't have much scheduled. And then so I was like, put me down for Monday. And then I said, put it in the afternoon because you know how we do. And she was like, yeah. And I was like, when I get there, I got, you know, we gonna talk about everything. And you know, it's one of those conversations where you know that the conversation is gonna start with, girl.
Let me tell you what this did. Like it started off like what it is.
So I didn't realize that. You know, I knew that it was gonna be longer than an hour. Because usually the sessions are supposed to be an hour, and we ended up talking. She called me early because her 12 o'clock canceled. I was supposed to be there at 1. Her 12 o'clock canceled, so I got there probably a little bit around or a little bit after 12:30. I ain't leave there to 3:30.
Goodness, man,
bruh,
that is a long talk. That's a long talk.
It's been a long time since we talked, and we get it in when we talk. I mean, we talk about everything. I mean, it was a lot of this time. There was a lot of talk about Pooh Bear, and you know that type of stuff. So that was cool. And then on the way back, my girl and I was like, okay, we got to be out of here by 5. My girl is like, I want to go to Dairy Queen. I'm like, are you serious? Like it's already 3:30. I got to go handle some other stuff. It's getting ready to be 4, and now you talking about so you want to go to Dairy Queen? And then she like, well, you know how your girl do. Well, I don't want to do anything now. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. So you just don't want one of the moods, man.
Right. So I get on the interstate like I'm going home, and then I stop by Dairy Queen anyway. Right, knowing that I'm pushing time. Yeah, but I'm like, okay, so if we get out of here on time, I'm gonna get here at 6:30. I got a half an hour to get home. All right, cool. So I do that. All right, and then of course, when I get off the interstate back in Richmond, she's like, oh, can you stop at the store?
No, son, I cannot stop at the store.
I already got you already. We don't need to.
And I looked this woman dead in her eyes. And I said,
What you say?
I said,
What'd you say?
I said, no, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Really, you said that? No, you say that. You didn't say that. No, I said that.
I said that.
If y'all look at the video, both Chase and Fred Rojas did live streams of the Scarcasm game night last night. We were nice. Oh my god, it was the best. I'm gonna tell y'all something. I don't think it's on. Killing Floor 2 is not on Xbox, is it?
No, not yet. It's on PC for sure. I know that because I almost had a code, but I didn't review it.
That is a fun game to get a group of people together. I mean, it's the cross between horror mode and Left 4 Dead. And then, but it's mostly horde mode with like zombie type creatures, and then they have special like zombies.
Okay.
And it's up to 6 people.
Word up.
Like, and we had a full house. Like, I mean, everybody was there. Like, it was, oh man, that game is a blast to play with friends. I mean, it is. And I mean, most of the people I ain't even really know. Like, there's some people that I heard of before. You know, you listen to a few podcasts, like like the last time me and Chase played, we played with Fred Rojas.
Yeah,
and so like that's when I met
Gaming History 101. Like, shout out to
I've heard that show before, but like the episodes of Gaming History that I listened to was all like really early video game stuff and stuff in like the 80s and shit like that I wasn't quite interested in. So I just kind of stopped listening to the podcast because it wasn't anything I was interested in. It wasn't anything to do with the podcast. His knowledge is on point,
right?
But it just wasn't, it was kind of like listening to Ready Player One again. Like Ready Player One is so 80s, and you're just like, bruh, I don't care about the 80s.
So much hating.
But yeah, and him, and then there was all kinds of people in there. I've heard of, but I'd never met before, and I've never been in a game with Jeremy Ruiner.
Ruiner 2 from Dash Getting Grounded, which they allegedly threw out there as their final podcast too, which I was just about to listen to it, which I don't know about that one. Like, he seems too good and seems to love podcasting too much to do that. But
yeah, that game is so much fun, and I'm glad they gave it away free on PlayStation Plus.
So you mean you picked it up? So that means I got it.
Yeah.
All right. I'll get it downloaded. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? All right. So, but I agree with Will. Will said that DQ seems like a priority to me. You know, when we don't have many Dairy Queens left in Oklahoma, bruh, and when you can get it, you got to get it. You know what I'm saying?
They're everywhere around here. But hold on for a second.
Yeah. So
y'all handle business. I got this. Give me a second.
All right, he doing it. But no, man, he said that but yeah, Killing Floor 2 comes out tomorrow for Xbox, according to Will. So apparently that might be something that might be pretty hot, man. Pretty hot in these streets. Also, something that's out for Xbox that's free that started on the PC that I would recommend to folks if you like isometric RPGs like Diablo. Path to Exile, man. Path to Exile is really unique. It's really good in that you have a leveling system where you can truly customize your player to how you want to play. And it's legit. It handles nice, runs smooth. What up, Terrence? We said comes out tomorrow. Pause. Man, this dude knew he's gonna hit us with a pause. But yeah, man. So I strongly recommend that. I do. I really do. I can't be mad at that. But yeah. So, but hey, look, I want to get into a couple of things, and I know Mike is busy, but I want to get into a couple of things. All right, Timo. So here in Oklahoma, follow me with the story. Just follow me with the story because it's rather asinine, and I know you guys are not gonna believe me, but that's okay because I didn't make this up. So a guy in Oklahoma is suing a school district. Now he is a self-identified devil worshiper. He worships the devil. He calls himself a daster, which is like the play on the word pastor. And he has filed a lawsuit against an Oklahoma County District Court against Putnam City School District because he has had DHS come out to his house. No lie, he said 40 times. He said that parent plaintiffs were subject to approximately 40 visits from DHS over a period of years, which were based on falsified allegations purported by district personnel, according to him. Right. So they have come to his house 40 times. 40 times. Now, that's just something that's ridiculous, man. Like
I can't understand 40 times, like unless they're accused of abuse or something like that. I mean, after 10 times, I think they would take the kids after 10 times, I think.
Right. But I mean, if you go and you can't prove stuff, like it even says here in the article that they asked him, did he have a dungeon? But I was talking to an employee of that district, and that employee stated that when kids tell them that something is going on in the home, they are required by law to report it.
Yeah.
So you know what type of position does that put them in, right? And now the guy says he doesn't really want the money. He's suing him for $300,000, and which, as you know, pretty much in every state in the country, like, budgets aren't doing good. So that really hurts. However, he said the point of the lawsuit is to make them stop using DHS as a weapon to bludgeon us because they don't believe in how we practice our faith. Anyway, I have a problem with that term, using faith in that regard. But he says their family participates in and began the local charter of Dogma of Anramanyu, and that Adam Daniels is the daster or lead minister of the religious group. They held a black mass as a parody of a Catholic Eucharistic mass at the Civic Center Music Hall in 2014. So again, I look at that and I'm just like, son, something has to be wrong if somebody's called out to your house 40 times over in the span of a few years. Like, that's problematic, man. And look here, man, you are in the buckle of the Bible Belt. A lot of people don't believe that or know that, but if you're in the buckle of the Bible Belt and you a devil worshiper, look, man, like, unfortunately, like, I'm black, I'm here, right? Like, it's gonna be hard living for both people, right? So it just, I don't know, man. And it's because I think they have to report, like the employees and stuff. They have to report, man. They can't not do anything, because then that's negligence on their part, and then they're guilty. But I wanted you guys to see that and know that that's what's going on here in Oklahoma City. Yeah, it's a little weird, man.
So what are we talking about here? Give me the clip notes.
Oh, just a devil worshiper has had DHS called on him 40 times over a few years here in Oklahoma City.
That doesn't surprise me, because Christians, once they find out you're a devil worshiper, they could be all about that life. But I mean that dude, as long as he's not harming anybody, he should be free to practice whatever he gonna practice. Like,
it's not about that. It's the fact that, like I was bringing up, that talking to employees from the district, they have to report if the kids tell them something. They have to report something. Like, if the kids threaten, say that they're in danger, they're required by law to say something. So what do you do? Well,
that's what I said. As long as he's not harming anybody. Now, if the kids are in danger, call. You get somebody to go out there. Don't even just call the house. Go there. And make sure that those kids are safe. It's all about the kids and anybody involved being safe. If you believe in that Satan is your savior, that's cool. As long as you don't believe that he might be mine. You know what I'm saying? Like, we good until you cross over, son. Like, we good.
You say we good.
Don't cross over. You can keep that in your house.
Right. Go ahead,
That's
Timo.
the thing. Like, it depends on what he's practicing. Like, I mean, I heard, like, Satan worshippers, they sacrifice animals and all that kind of stuff. Like, if you're sacrificing an animal in front of your kids and, like, say, hold the cup of the goat blood, son, and then pour it and all that kind of stuff, and then they go back to the school and say, guess what we did yesterday?
But what's the difference between that? What's the difference between that and somebody that practices voodoo and they kill a chicken in front of their kids? Like, you know what I mean? At what point do we draw the line of what's okay? Are we just looking down on this because it's in support of the devil, or are we just looking down on this because it's something you shouldn't do in front of your kids? Because it sounds like we're looking down on this dude because he worships the devil, not necessarily somebody who is doing voodoo or some derivative of that, where they will do ritual sacrifice as a part of the thing that they do. Where do we draw the line at what's harmful or not to their children? If their children are a part of this life, the same way that your children are probably involved in Christian life, like, it's a part of what they do. So, I mean, as long as no person is being harmed, I don't give a shit about animals. Like, I'm from Newport News. Bad news kennels, son. But but I don't really care. I care not about the animals. I'm really not one of those people that think that my animals are a part of my family and all that other nonsense. But as long as no person is being harmed, I don't have a problem.
Yeah. Well, see, I don't know. I think at some point, like I said, unless the kids stop reporting it to the personnel, Like you got to keep checking. You got to still go through. Like you said, you got to follow through.
Yeah, if something happened with the kids and the kids are saying, "Hey, bro, my dad threw a go ahead at me," or something like something. Yeah, cool. But if it's just my dad sacrificed the goat,
right?
Like what's the difference between him sacrificing this goat and then what if they eat the rest of the goat? You know what I mean? What if they sacrifice a sheep and then they have some lamb chops after? If they have lamb chops after, is it really the same thing? You know what I mean? So, I say sacrifice some pigs and then have some bacon. You know what I mean? Like some pork chops.
You know bacon. He all about that bacon life. Son.
Get some bacon and some pork chops. I like pig feet. No, actually, it was just something to say.
Right. But, sounded good at the time.
But yeah, I'm with you.
All right. Now
I wouldn't need it like one time. That was on one time. That was it.
Oh no, brother! I looked at a jar of pig feet once. I was good. I needed no convincing at that from that point forward.
Yeah, pickled pig feet looks. I mean, pig feet looks disgusting, but pickled pig feet, bruh.
Man, it looks absolutely disgusting. And I'm here where it's popular. Like in pickles, anything pickled is so popular here. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? There's so many other things to eat that are delicious. So
now my ex's mom was letting my daughter try some pig's feet, and then her cousin bitch was like, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Hey, I cannot do it, brother.
She's like, Daddy, I like it. I was like, I don't care. You're not eating that ever again. Don't worry about it. You're not.
No. I tried chitlin once, and I almost vomited on the plate.
I can't eat chitlins. I cannot eat anything that smells that bad before.
Right.
Like if it smells that bad after, I'm cool. But I can't eat none that smells that bad before you eat it.
Yeah, it's no. It's terrible.
No, I agree.
Terrible.
It's like anytime you cook something to where it is you have to basically segregate your house so you can try to keep that smell from going into the rest of your house, you probably shouldn't be eating.
You probably shouldn't cook that. Exactly. Like I said, my grandma used to make hers on the back porch. You know what I'm saying? We had an enclosed back porch that had a washer and dryer. And so,
yeah, my people used to, they used to put like a sheet or something over the entrance to the kitchen to try to keep the smell in. Bruh.
That shit ain't gonna do nothing. That sheet ain't gonna do nothing. Nothing. What is a sheet gonna do? That's
it lessened the smell as long as people stop going in and out. It's your grandma on the screen door. But
already.
But
my life is.
Right. So it's just God.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Can we stop talking about this?
All right, let's go. All right, I got something else I want to talk about because I got some intelligent brothers on here. So listen. So I talked to someone this week, mad shout outs, and they know who they are. I talked to someone this week, and I told you guys last week I was going to speak to someone who's still supporting 45, and we were going to bring it to the show. And this is what they said. All right. So this is how the conversation went. And you guys stop me.
So we're not going to talk about who it is?
No, we're not going to talk about who it is because that's not the point of this. The point is
if you were process. Shouldn't you be proud?
No, I wouldn't be if it was me. But then again, all right. So
then again, you're reasonable.
Right. He said supporting 45 megapause. Okay. So, all right. So the question was, what attracted you to Trump? Right. So I began with that. The question is, what attracted you to Trump? And basically, what was baked into that assumption is that Trump was an outsider. Right. He's a businessman. He's not a lifetime politician. So the assumption is that he comes in from the outside and he doesn't have to compromise. Like a lot of people are lifelong politicians. That's what they want to do. This is the pinnacle of, political prowess, right? Is to be here on this level. And then they will do whatever they do and compromise, including compromising their own personal moral guidelines in order to stay there. Right. So that was a thing. But, I countered with, well, I've been following business since 1998 when I was a freshman in college because that was my major. And I've been following Trump since that time. And he's not a good dude. He's not a good dude. Never has been.
He's not a good businessman.
He's not a good businessman.
Yeah.
he's rich, but let's be 100% honest. He's not a good businessman. How many of his businesses and his side hustles, like the hotels and stuff, are doing well? But how many of them had to be closed? How many of the other stuff, like Trump University and all? I mean, while he was being elected, there was a lawsuit about Trump University.
Right. Right.
Right. Like, what is wrong with you people? And then, like, to say, here's my problem with 45. Here's the problem with 45.
Okay, and then we'll get through the rest of them because I got some other points. Well, go ahead.
No. I gotta say this.
Okay, say what you gotta say.
If I am picking someone to head my basketball team, I am not going to look into football players.
Word up. I hear what you're saying.
And that's basically what they did. They thought that one skill would translate to another. And they basically said, this dude with no experience is better than a lifelong politician. Now, we know how politics works. We all know how politics works. But they successfully convinced the masses that they were the same. How, Sway? How? They successfully convinced us that they were the same. And, you know, a guy we've never seen him govern anything. Like, I'm like, yo, I always thought that you had to have governed something in order to be president. And I guess I was wrong. I thought that you had to be a senator or a governor or something like that, at least before you could be picked to be president. Like, so at least have some idea of your governing ability.
Right.
And we've never seen him govern a thing except for The Apprentice. Like, we've never seen him legislate anything except for the damn Apprentice. And that's not a judge. Those skills do not translate to president of the damn country.
All right. Go ahead, Timo.
Well, that's what happened. The campaign turned to an episode of The Apprentice.
Mark said, lifelong criminal. Stupid, man.
And the problem was everybody that was in the Republican, campaign to be the candidate tried to play his game, and they lost. Instead of, if they stuck to the points, stuck to policy,
right? You're right.
And the entertainment, they probably would have beat him. I mean, but they didn't, and they tried to play his game, and he beat him. Now, when you come to Clinton, everybody didn't like Clinton for it happened in the past and all that stuff, but she was the most experienced person, but so many people didn't like her either. So you had they kept saying, but her emails, they kept bringing up her emails.
Right.
And
it's like, well, the government already said that those emails don't really matter. And then right before the election, of course, they say, oh, we're investigating the emails, even though they weren't really investigating the emails. They were looking for something else, for someone else. They weren't even investigating her emails. But of course, they dropped that little nugget, and the asshole that dropped the nugget ain't even got a fucking job anymore.
Because he would get
Mike hot right now. Mike is hot right now. I don't know what is going on.
Because he helped Trump, but then he got to win against Trump. That's why Trump fired him.
Right. Talking about Comey. Everyone talking about James Comey. In case you lost in the shuffle.
He has no loyalty to anybody that helped him until they stop helping him. And once they stop
he
helping
has
him,
no loyalty, period.
No, that's the only thing. Like, I mean, Spicer quit. All these other people quit. I mean, the mooch only lasted 1 week.
Well, the mooch shot himself in the foot. Like,
he did. I mean, in the mouth, really. He put his foot in his mouth and then shot himself in the foot. But Slasher makes a good point. He says, not any lifelong politician, but Hillary Clinton. She was not good opposition. Which
no, I don't think that it was. I don't think it was Hillary. I think the problem is a lot of well, two things. One, she herself is not extremely likable.
Right. Granted.
And two, what the Democrats did to Bernie, which honestly, he's not one of them. No, he was a Democrat for the election. He was not one of them. No. So they said the Democrats screwed them over. No, they went with their people. She's one of their people. Mm-hmm. But I think the best thing that she could have done is signed him on as vice president. Then all of those Bernie bros wouldn't have left and voted for Trump.
Scar, my mama said the same exact thing when the campaign was going on. Like, she should get Bernie as the vice president. That's what. And then
I thought that was a lock. I seriously thought that was a lock. I seriously didn't think she was going to go any other direction. Mark says, at least you can quit. With Clinton, you just end up dead. Sorry, suicide, plane crash, train crossing accident, something. But look, man. So here's my thing. So we continued to talk, and I asked him. So, and this was the main cusp of it. Is like my main question was why, in the face of overwhelming confidence, do you continue to support him? And basically what I heard back was they don't give any credence or lend any credibility to the news reports that come against him, right? So like all of the things that he's criticized for, whether it be firing somebody who's investigating, whether it be hiring people who are racist, whether it be hiring people who have other conflicts of interest, right? Whether it be making brash...
Giving pardons to convicted people who were racist.
Arpaio, right? Exactly. So whether it be all of these things, they basically said, well, the news is out to get everybody. And I'm thinking, is that how it's justified rationally? Like, is that really how it's justified? Because listen, I can understand that if that was the case, but he gets flack for all the stuff he tweets himself, for all the stuff he says himself, for all the things that he's done in the past himself. So I can understand if it all originated externally to him, but it's all originating internally.
But it's the thing that he did. He did this on purpose. And he went through the whole calling everybody fake news and all of this other stuff, and even went against Fox News after he won. But the thing is, like, he destroyed the credibility of the press. And not that they had a whole lot of credibility to begin with,
right?
As a whole, but we know this from every day on Facebook. Somebody is posting something false, and people just believe it.
Everybody right into it.
And it's not the press's fault that people can just post whatever they want to and make it look like news, and people just believe it's news. I'm like this. People were posting fake tweets from Trump, and I'm like, bruh, you don't have to do that. Post his real tweets.
Yeah, post his real tweets. Like that's
like you don't even have to stretch. Like, you don't even have to stretch to make him look bad. He makes him look bad. And so, like, the whole thing about everybody is like looking at the media. Oh, the media is making this racist. The media is doing this. And it's like, bruh, do you not understand what's going on around you? Charlottesville happened, right? Charlottesville happened. We had people walking the streets with Nazi flags and doing KKK salutes and all of this kind of stuff. They did a poll, and only 15% of Virginia Republicans believe that white supremacy was involved.
Well, here's the thing. We talked about Charlottesville. 15%.
No, I'm just saying 15% believe that white supremacy was involved. When Junior got caught trying to get that information on Hillary and then admitted to it, he admitted that he talked to the Russians trying to get some information on Hillary. Do you know only 25% of Republicans believe something that he admitted to doing?
Right.
I mean, he verbatim, she didn't have anything on Hillary, so I ended the meeting. Verbatim, that came out of his mouth. That's what he said. That's exactly what he said.
I was there. I was trying to get something on Hillary. She had nothing. She had another agenda. I bounced. But he admitted to being there.
Yeah.
And only 25%.
After denying.
But only 25% of Republicans actually believe that happened.
That's crazy, man. Now, Slasher says this. He says, when you're inexperienced and people are lined up to look over your shoulder, you're going to make mistakes. But when people don't like you, it gets amplified twofold. Now, here's my thing with that. I concur. When you're inexperienced, you're liable to make mistakes. You know how you cover that? As someone who's taken leadership classes my entire life, you get people who know what the hell they're doing in their place, and you rely on them. You have people play their role. You rely on your subject matter experts, and you let them do it. You entrust.
For all intents and purposes, Obama was inexperienced.
For all intents and purposes, most people are inexperienced doing president, because the only thing that ever actually kind of equates to that is CEO. And most people who have assumed that position are not CEOs.
Period. And the only people that could have had some sort of connection to the presidency has been W. and should have been Hillary. Her husband was the president. Like,
right. Well, don't forget Quincy Adams and somebody else, like his nephew or whatever. But that's it. But you know, Terrence said it right. You know, the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing people that he didn't exist. Right. So, but I think the greatest trick that this last political campaign showed us was that nothing ever existed. You know, they was pulling the wool over our eyes to make fake news exist. So then you could just craft whatever story you wanted. And I hate that term fake news, because news by in and of itself, by definition, cannot be fake. But in and of itself, it cannot be by definition.
But don't discount the fact that there's a 24-hour news cycle, and a lot of legitimate news places tend to jump the gun on things.
They do, absolutely, and that's their fault. That's their fault for doing that. That's their fault for not checking the sources. Right. It's their fault for not being diligent. And AZ Rockslide has gotten on to people about that and said that because he went to broadcast because he knows, like, nah, bro, this is not what's hot in these streets. That's not what this journalism is about.
The crazy part is, like, the only semi-revolution that came from people trying to correct journalism has been in gaming.
Oh,
in gaming, bruh. Entertainment media, like, it's man.
Yeah. Oh no, we're not saying that he should have, but
I said that she was just ultimately qualified for the job. I'm not saying that she would have been the best president. She would have been the best president out of these two.
And well, here's the thing.
I mean, I said I didn't like either of them, but you know, I voted for her because she was the most experienced person. I thought that they would work with her. I didn't think they would work with Trump. And it's getting to where now they don't want to work with him on anything now.
Right.
That mouth was so bad.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's like all of these people who voted for him because they thought that he was going to bring these jobs and he was going to do all of these things, and he's done absolutely none of it. Like, right. None of it. Like, none of it. The only thing that he's done was help out his mans in him.
And here's the thing. So I asked specifically, what are you pleased with? If you could evaluate him now, what are you pleased with? Slasher said he'd vote for a woman, but just not her.
I vote for her in more Trump. And
Buffoon versus career criminal, says Mark. Hey man, look, we never said there were good choices out there. We just said there were choices. But I'll say this. So the question that I did ask was, I said, okay, so what if you gave him now? What are you pleased with that he's done? Because he's failed at a lot of things thus far already. What are you pleased with that he's done? And this is what was read back to me. The China and the UN sanctions working together are groundbreaking, right? For the sanctions on North Korea, groundbreaking, quote unquote. Show more force, he should have shown more force with North Korea, and more harsh language.
More force?
Yeah, that's what I let it ride. But I'm just telling you what I heard. This is the feedback, right? Because I don't think like the people who still find a way to support. I just don't. Like, I come from actually being involved in politics for a while. I come from a different camp. I don't think the same way. And so Afghanistan, he said that Saudi Arabia against like the advancements they've made against ISIS and Iran and stuff. The travel ban in lieu of it is that's negotiating. It's a negotiating war, really trying to get it down. Like, he finally ended up getting it passed, and that was something that was successful, which I don't see how it's successful, but we'll come back to that here in just a minute. And doesn't like, though, is really displeased with how he appears in the media and his public face. Really disappeared in how 45 appears in the media and how he presents himself. And I'm like, look, man, that's basically that PR person is slipping on the job, dog.
No, how can you PR a situation where the person that you're trying to help is so reckless on his own?
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's hard. Like, and generally, people who are coachable need to be generally understand that they don't know what's going on, or understand that they need coaching or acknowledge that fact. But he's never that person to acknowledge that he's not the smartest person in the room. Right. It's a pride thing. And so Slasher says he can't get things done. He's fighting too many people on all sides. Can't move forward. All right.
How do you you're a Republican president. Everything around you is
it's all Republican.
Yeah.
and you can't get nothing done. Like that's a problem. That's a problem with experience. You need experience. He has none. He don't know how to talk to people.
Mm-hmm. I always say
because
he didn't grow
before
up in the hood.
everybody worked for him previously to now.
Yeah.
Everybody he was in control over worked for him. We don't work for him. He's supposed to work for us.
Supposed to, but that's not how it's gonna ever work. Go ahead, Timo. You had something?
I was gonna say that. I mean, everybody that had his back, he makes fun of. Like, I mean, the fact that Sessions is still there, I can't believe he's still there after all the stuff he talked about.
Yeah, I mean, he is riding on Sessions, dog.
I mean, and then now he's on Mike McConnell, which is a horrible mistake. Mike McConnell runs things. He runs the Senate. He runs the House. It's all public. So how you gonna make fun of the main guy that you need to get your stuff done? That's just showing inexperience, like you said. Like, stop tweeting, stop talking about people, bite your tongue, get a mouthpiece, do something.
Slasher says they don't like him either way. They have their own agendas, and that's true to a point. All politicians generally have an agenda. However, look, here's my thing. I want to get to. I'll say this about that, and then I'll get to another point that I really want to talk about with you guys. Here's my thing about that. If there was any other person in this office right now who made the same decisions, who said the same words, who tweeted out the same things, who had the same past, I guarantee you your assessment would be different. Like, I don't understand how it can be justified that your assessment would not be like your assessment would be the same. It wouldn't. This guy is quote unquote, like the everyday man. He's the guy who works and who does something different. But here's my thing, and this is the thing that I really think is probably at the heart of some Charlottesville stuff. We were having this conversation, and somebody hit on a point and said that they felt like they some of the victories they counted for Trump about the Muslim ban stuff they felt like being white is looked at as a crime in this country. And I said, how is that? And now let me finish. So I asked them,
won't say nothing.
I asked this person, I said, okay, why do you say that? And they said, well, in colleges they teach white privilege courses. I said, okay. And then they went on to say, well, in white privilege courses, they're teaching students to tell me that I should be ashamed for what I have. I said, no. Let's get that misconception out of the way right now. And then they went into Black Lives Matter, about Black Lives Matter being all violent and condoning violence. I said, no, that's not right either. And so about the privilege,
I saw an article that said that because of affirmative action, there's a large percentage of white people that think that black people go to college for free.
Yes. Did you know that there's also the rumor, and it's actually been substantiated with documentation, that in this administration there is a proposal to go back and try to revoke affirmative action or bring lawsuits against institutions that implemented affirmative action, because using affirmative action things they've eliminated white people from some competition, from some contention for scholarships. I'm like, do you not understand what's going on? And do you understand the percentage of people that actually get into places because of affirmative action? Like, it's still, even if like right. So here's my thing. So we went into it, and so I wanted to tell them this. We talked about. I said, look, this is what white privilege is. In case you people don't, in some people don't know, white privilege is the privilege of living life without the misconceptions and the prejudgments that come from being black. That's all it means. That means is that if you walk down the street in a hoodie and I walk down the street in a hoodie, which one of us is a possible suspect? Not you. That's what white privilege means. And then I was rebutted with, well, I don't care what people think. And I said, I agree with that. I've always lived my life that way. I teach my kids that. However, when it's people who are gatekeepers, who have the right to determine whether or not they accept your application for college or whether or not they approve you or deny you for that job application, those people
or
have
police
to
officers who get to choose whether I live or die.
That's what makes the difference.
That's the main thing. That makes the difference. Like, they'll kill my kids because of what they look like.
Yes, exactly.
That's it.
And
there's 2 YouTube videos that I would try to get y'all to find. I haven't watched them in quite some time, but there's 2 YouTube videos. One revolves around someone stealing a bike, and another one is revolved about someone walking down the street with an AK. And in both cases, well, in the one with the stealing of the bike, they use 3 people. They use a white dude, and he is there. There's a bike in the park, and he is sawing at the chain. And someone asked him about it, and he explains calmly that hey, this is I lost the key. That they let it ride. The brother comes up immediately. Everybody is on him. Should you be doing that? Is that your bike?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Like, the other dude just said, "Oh yeah, that's my bike." Whether or not it was, it passed. And then they put a pretty white lady in, and the dude actually offered to help her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, actually offered to help her saw this chain so she could get this bike that she said was hers. It's all the exact same bike in the exact same part of the park. But it just so happens that how they look had different reactions. And the AK thing, the white dude walks down, a police officer stops him, and he said, "This is my gun." He gets to touch the gun, he gets to pull it. It's like, yeah, this is mine. Like, he holds the gun up. It was like, this is mine, and all this other stuff. And the cop just says, "All right, Dan, just keep that under control," and then he leaves. The black dude, they gave him the exact same gun, and immediately cop pulls up, guns are drawn, he calls for backup. The gun never leaves his back. Never leaves his back. But it's the exact same gun, walking the exact same street, but guns are drawn immediately.
Right.
Immediately, they make him get on the ground. They talk junk to his girl because his girl is behind him recording the whole thing. Recording it on the phone and stuff.
Right.
And they rush him, and they are trying to make sure that he is not going to harm anybody. But the previous dude was just fine. There was a young brother in Salt Lake City? He was leaving Salt Lake City Comic-Con. He was dressed up as an anime character. He had a fake sword on his back, and he walked past a gas station. Someone saw him walk past with a fake sword, and they called the police. The police rolled up on him, and he was shot and killed. They tried to say that he pulled the sword. That was fake. It wasn't real at all. They tried to say that he pulled the sword and that's why he got killed. Well, there just so happened to be somebody with a security camera in one of the stores near there, and they saw that the cops just rolled up on him. They talked for maybe 10 seconds, and they opened fire on this dude, and he never pulled a damn thing.
And that's the thing. So again, if you don't know what white privilege is, that's it. You have the freedom to not worry about these prejudices that are cast down on you just for being white. Like, we're just saying, we're not saying
the freedom to not be terrified the moment there's a cop behind you,
right?
Because you don't feel like that your life could go either way at that point.
And let me be clear, it's not for you to feel bad. It's just to make you aware. It's just saying, hey, we just don't have it that easy. Yeah. And that's
and stop denying that it doesn't exist, because it does. I mean, I live in Texas. I mean,
right? For real.
That's an everyday thing down there. I mean, it's an everyday thing down there. So
here's the thing: we're all in different parts of the country. You're in Texas. I'm in Oklahoma. Mike's in Virginia. It's real in all 3 places as it is anywhere else.
I had a cop very close to drawing on me just because I drove around the corner with my parking lights on.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
and just because I was, I told the story on the show before, but I was dropping off my cousin and his girlfriend. She lived around the corner from him. I dropped him off first. I had my parking lights on, and then I drove around the corner, and I was at my cousin's house. He was my second cousin. My first cousin saw the flashing lights, and the cop rolled up on me with his hand on his gun, ready to go, because I had my parking lights on. And I think I would have got drawn on if she didn't see the flashing lights and walk out the door and say, "Is everything okay?" So he knew that someone was watching him.
Right. It's tough, man. A lot of people don't have to deal with that. But I just wanted you all to know, like this is what my experience was when actually speaking with someone and it may not be indicative of everyone, and it may not. And like Slasher says, that booty wins every time though. And he was talking about the lady, and they offered to help, but
she didn't have no booty. She was a white lady.
Bogus. Come on, man. Come on, son. Come on, son. Man, some of the best twerkers in the game. But anyway, word.
You just gonna say that? You just gonna say that straight up?
It is. It's the truth.
We can say that straight up.
I've seen videos. All I'm saying. But listen. So
okay, I give you Amber Rose. I don't know about the rest.
All right. But my point is, look, man, it's something that's real. But listen, I wanted you. So Dr. Galarno, she's at Lisa Guy on Twitter. She tweeted out that after Charlottesville, people protesting and stuff, man, actually works. So she tweeted this out. She said, hashtag the resistance has a big impact on suppressing hashtag alt-right activity. Also, Anonymous Indivisible. She was responding that to an article, says breaking after alt-right organizers saw huge counter protests in Boston. Boston, they've canceled 67 America First rallies scheduled in 36 states. My thing is,
my thing is why they schedule it. They claim that it was about the Confederate monuments being removed in the South, and then try to set up all of these things not in the South.
Right. but
that means it's about something else, right?
Well, that was the whole thing about Charlottesville. They were there to protest the Robert E. Lee statue removal. They say nothing about a Robert E. Lee statue at all. I mean, so.
And here's my thing. I'll just say this. I just want everybody to think, when we say America, who does that really mean? When we say American, what image do you have in your head? How is that different? Will you break bread with anyone here? Would you trust all people of all creeds and all colors? Would you trust them? Would you sit down with them? Would you trust them to, like, hey, could you rely on them if you needed them? Like things like that. Like,
I was at a park Saturday. We took Pooh Bear to see there's some cosplayers that get together, and then people can show up and take pictures and stuff like that. Right. Where they were in the park was like way in the back, and there's a lot of big hills and stuff in there. So my girl got bad knees. So when it was time to leave, I went back so that I could get the car and drive around to another entrance that we didn't know was there, so that I could get
everybody else,
so I could pick them up. And Pooh Bear's 9, she can't really do all that walking.
Right.
So on the way back, I'm walking, and I notice once I get out of the immediate area that I'm in, we can talk about that Robert Lee stuff, because that's bullshit. But what you're saying is bullshit. Because people only read headlines, and that's the problem why you believe the nonsense that you believe. But so I'm walking back, and I notice I'm the only person of color, and I notice, like, I'm a really friendly dude, like I'm a teddy bear, and I'm like prepared to say hi, and everyone is trying their hardest not to make eye contact with me. And I'm in the position, like, I'm feeling good. Like, I'm like, hey, how you doing? How's it going? And everybody is trying their hardest not to make eye contact with me. And I'm noticing this as I'm walking out. I passed by this Indian couple, like, red dye Indian, not woo-woo Indian.
You could just say it from Bombay, bruh. Like, we would have been fine. But go ahead.
I passed by them, and the lady looks at me, and she has a look of shock on her face, like, oh shit, I shouldn't have done that.
Really?
Like, you just looked at me. Like, I didn't even do anything. Like, I'm walking back to my car. I'm not bothering with you. You're not bothering with me. I was prepared to say hello. And she has that look on her face. And then how do you think that makes me feel every day? I was in a restaurant today, and I noticed that for the most part, I was the only black person sitting down. I started counting how many black people came into that restaurant, and I got to 14 people that walked up, placed a takeout order, and left. None of them sat down in that restaurant.
Wow. Wow.
14.
Maybe they know something you don't, bro. Maybe they know something you don't.
14. I mean, it's a restaurant that my girl liked, but she white. She can do whatever she wants. Okay, now let's talk about this Robert Lee thing. The Robert Lee thing, Robert Lee himself went to ESPN. Robert Lee himself did it. ESPN didn't say, oh, this might be a problem. Robert Lee himself said this might be a problem. And they was like, you know what, you right. So if he went to ESPN himself and said this may be an issue, maybe I shouldn't be here right now, then what the fuck is your problem? Like, you're trying to make it seem like ESPN is all PC, whatever. But if he went there himself, you shouldn't have a problem. You only read the headline and you didn't read the fact that he went there himself. He went to his superiors and said, maybe this isn't a good idea. They said, you know what, you're right. They backed him up, not the other way around. Stop perpetuating this nonsense. Read the article.
Why are you so upset, Mike? Why are you so upset?
Because
tonight,
it's stupid and it's being spread that ESPN is some liberal nonsense, whatever, and it's not true. And this is the same thing that we said about fake news. You read the headline and saw that a guy named Robert Lee was taken off of that game. He went there himself, and all they said was, "You're right. We should probably put you on something else."
Might be problematic right now.
And all they did was put him on another game.
Well, I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting. But like I said, I applaud him for at least being cognizant that it might be a problem, right? He was being sensitive to the situation. So I give him kudos there.
He was. I mean, to be honest, all ESPN had to say was his name is Robert Lee, but he's Asian. And that's all they really had to say. But he went there himself and said, maybe this isn't a good idea. And they said, you know what, we'll back you on that. We'll put you on another game.
Hey. He was like I said, he was smart with it. And
I recently had a coworker.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. What did you say? I was gonna say, I've been working at my company for about 10 years, and we all kind of get along. And that my coworker was asking me because he for his church, he helps a lot of kids in his church, and he wanted to talk to me about this statue situation because there was a guy here in Houston that wanted to get rid of a Sam Houston statue. And he was just asking me because I'm the only black dude there, right? He's like, "Hey man, what's going on? Like, why are they angry about the statues?" And I said, "Well, that Charlottesville thing kind of opened their eyes to a whole lot of things. I mean, I was like, you got to admit this." I said, the president kind of gave them fuel a little bit, not dismissing, because David Duke verbatim out of his mouth said, "We are here to promote President Trump's politics." That came out of his mouth.
You know what? I said this on Facebook, but there's two ways really to do this. The whole thing with the statues, right? One, you can say up front, we're not taking the statue down. We're moving it to either a museum, a Confederate museum, or we're moving it to a Confederate cemetery where it seems more appropriate to have it. Like you can just say that up front, and if you say that up front, then then it lessens it a little bit. It lessens it a little bit. Not just we're just taking this down. No, we're going to move it to somewhere where it seems more appropriate. And all of these people that are down for the Confederacy, shout out to that town in Alabama that just put up a new Confederate monument because fuck you. But if they would have said that first, then this wouldn't have the same wouldn't feel the same. It wouldn't feel like they're getting rid of your Confederate monuments. And let's be honest, they have been trying to get these monuments down for the past few years, especially when all of the Confederate flag stuff started popping up. They was just like, yeah, maybe we should move some of this stuff, because a lot of people a lot of people feel like, yo, if this is on if this is on city land that I pay taxes on, it shouldn't be here.
But again,
but I mean, I know that's how some people feel. I feel the opposite. Here's the second thing: leave all of them up. Just keep saying you're going to take them down. The people who get more and more upset at the talk of taking them down, I know that I can't trust you, and that's the best way to be. You know what? Don't take the Confederate flag off of city buildings, but let people fly their flags how they want to, because I need to know up front if I can trust you or not.
So you're using it as an identifier, basically.
Yes, it's an identifier. If you identify with these losers, then you don't then we don't deserve to be cool.
I hear you.
Well, that was the thing about Sam Houston. Like, you can't really compare Sam Houston to Robert E. Lee, because if it wasn't for Sam Houston, Texas would be Mexico right now. I mean, so that's why he's kind of celebrated down here in Texas, because they have Mexico,
Right. Mark. That's an incorrect statement. This whole thing with the statues has been an issue for quite some time. It's just now it's becoming a big deal, because now there is serious opposition, and they're loud. They are few, but they are loud. But this has been an issue, and it's been more of an issue since the whole Confederate flag controversy a few years ago, which was in the 8 years of the president that you speak of.
Right. Now, we got to get up out here, because we've been here over an hour. We've been here an hour and 5 minutes, and I'm going to let Timo tell us a little bit about the OFR Fantasy League, and then I'm going to let him get into shout-outs.
And thanks, everybody, for being in it for the second year in a row. We got the same team, same divisions, and last year. And it was cool, man. We had a Skype call, and 9 of the 10 showed up and had a good time on the draft. And I think everybody knows what they're doing. And so it's real competitive, because last year we had going for the last 2 playoff spots. So
yeah.
So I just want to thank you, Blue, and everybody who showed up for the call, and thanks for participating, and I appreciate it. And let's get it, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, no, it was awesome, man. I'm looking forward to it, having a good time again. I got decent picks. I'm gonna have to, I already did a couple of things, move some things around. So
nobody invite me.
I thought about it yesterday too. I was like, man, we need to invite Scott.
I only want to be in the to battle Meath.
Right. That's the whole fun. Me and Meath, we matched up.
Well, that's what we need to do then. We need to maybe get another person, and we can do 12. We can do 12. I ain't going over 12.
No, it's better. It's better at 10. Let's be honest with ourselves. It's better like, don't add nothing to it. Like it's better. It's better that way.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to it, man. And like Slasher, I feel like Slasher.
Yeah, the person who didn't show up for the chat should have got kicked out. You should have hollered at your boy.
That's got kiddo.
Cool out, guys. He got a good team too, man. Goodness.
Yeah, he's busy on Sundays, I think. That's what.
Yeah, man. So
I understand, but
yeah, no, I feel like Slash. He said he don't know what he's doing regarding this fantasy stuff. I still don't know what I'm doing, and but Mark says he disagrees to the point the press didn't consider it newsworthy, and I guess Soros's money wasn't involved. I guess yeah, I'm a little lost on that situation. I don't follow it all.
No, I got you. I understand. Yeah. But and then they did the whole thing that Soros is a secret Nazi and all of this other stuff, and it's just all convoluted. Like if we would have successfully got the money out of this part of politics, we would probably be in a much better place.
Absolutely, we would have. We would have.
If we would have successfully done it. Like few have tried, they all have failed.
Right.
And it doesn't. It shouldn't matter whose money influences all of this stuff. If we're in it for the money, then you're not in it for the people. And if you're not in it for the people, why are you here?
Yeah,
that's the way it was supposed to be. But there's too much money involved now, and we got to figure out how to get the money out of this. But the only way that we're going to do that is, we're gonna have to wait. We're gonna have to wait 4 years. I'd rather wait 4 years for 45 than to get him out of there and then have Pence there, because Pence is going to be much worse.
Yeah, he's gonna be difficult. But I wanted to talk a little bit about classical music, but I will wait until next time because we are well over time. But Timo, look, everybody, you can find Timo. He is recording live every single Tuesday evening on OpenForm Radio. Go to openformradio.com, check them out, put them in your ears. OFR Cast on iTunes and pretty much every podcatcher you have. That's where you can find them. So
Bernie wouldn't have done nothing with a Republican Congress. But we thought that 45 would have been able to, but
we'll see. And there's still time. There's still time. I don't think
there's still time. I just hope that my only hope right now is we're only seriously, we're 8 months into this. We're 8 months into this.
No, not even 8, 7, bro. We just crossed 7.
Okay, yeah. I mean, we're 8 months into the first year, but it's 7. We're 7 months into this, and things are just off the hook already. I hope that there is something in him that says, and we know that it's probably never happened before, and it may never happen, but I hope that there's something in him that just says, I'm doing this wrong, and go to some actual politicians and say, how can I do this better? But we know that he don't have it in him. But I would rather finish out these 4 years and him try to get some legitimate help.
We'll see. I don't. That requires a level of concession that he hasn't really shown his entire life. So I don't think that's gonna happen.
No. First of all, somebody got to get him on Twitter. Period. You have to. You have to.
I know that, man.
You're right.
Stop watching TV.
Yeah,
stop watching TV.
Yeah, well, no, not even watching the TV, because he can watch TV all day.
No,
he can watch TV all day. It's him tweeting about what he's watching on TV that's the biggest problem. So he should just straight up do the thing where you see it on movies when someone was saying, "Oh, let me see your phone," and it's like, "Oh yeah, here." And then you just throw it out the window.
Just crack it.
just throw it out the window. Throw it off a bridge. You gotta get that. You gotta get that phone out of his hand, and you need to convince him that his tweets need to go through PR.
Yeah, they need to. But all right, let's get these shout outs in, man, because we well over time. We are well over time. Mike, what do you shout outs, dog?
Man, shout out to everybody in the chat, man. I left a couple of times. Dairy Queen, bruh, I took my pills and it's not working for you, boy.
It's tearing you up.
Yeah, it's tearing me up. I'm sitting here gurgling, dog. It's not a game. The same thing happened to me. I was delayed for the Scarcasm episode that I actually put up on time. Shout out to that.
Right.
Shout out to everybody. I probably won't be doing any more shows this week because this is my last week with Pooh Bear. So I kind of want to spend as much time with her as I can. I just just thank you for everybody that's just checking in here. Shout out to Mr. Roboto for showing up on the show today. We appreciate you, dog. Shout out to T3PO.
T3PO.
And you know what? I'm not very religious, and I don't feel a lot of what a lot of people say that they feel when it comes to it. But the only thing that you can do at this point, the damage has been done with the election, and the only thing you can do now is pray that someone finds a way to get through to this dude.
Yeah.
Either that or he quits. And if he quits, then we need to pray that we gonna make it through the rest of these years with Pence.
You're right.
Amen.
You're right. Timo, your shout outs, brother.
Well, I appreciate you coming on, and sorry that that's turned into TV video.
It's all good, brother.
Improve my, improve my, connection and everything. But I appreciate y'all having me on, man. And give shout outs to everybody in the community that been having their concerns about me being down here, and I appreciate it. And just have continued prayers and thoughts out here for everybody who needs it, man. I'm fine. Like I said, I got food, I got water, I got beer. I'm straight. I mean, but
right.
Struggling, man. So hopefully we get a break and check me out on Bluemanrule Radio. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, look, man, I want to give a mad shout out to Timo for dropping in with us tonight, man. It's awesome having you here, and we'll have to have you back again, man. I want to give shout outs to Darren. He listens every week. Shout outs to Gamers in Beta. They recorded their last show. I think I mentioned it last week. I don't know if I did, but I'll mention it again. Shout outs to them. Shout outs to everybody who appeared tonight in the chat. Slasher, Uriah, Will, Terrence, Mark. Hey, thanks everybody for showing up in the chat. We always appreciate it. Right, you know it. So, look,
I just wanted to say that.
I know you did. Mark says, "Shout out to lactose intolerance." So,
bruh, it's not good. I'm sitting here and I look calm, but my stomach is like, it's time for the percolator.
Right,
it's time for the percolator.
All right, yo. So next week we'll be back with a fully maybe we'll be back with a fully healthy mic. So thank you everybody so much for watching and or listening to Facetious episode 86. But yeah, hit us up on Twitter and let us know, man. Are you surprised that any of these thoughts are going down? Are you surprised at any of these things? Hit us up, let us know. That's kind of the theme of today's show. So everybody, thanks for watching. Have a good week. Pray for Houston. Do what you can. Peace out to the Warriors.
Peace out to